When I would say that, a lot of people, Frederick County, 805. So combined, what we call, those are our hot spots. Those are our top 5 areas. That's 78%. Those 5 areas for foreclosure. So you're probably wondering, what about Howard County? You live in Howard County, correct? Most of you all probably do. There were 521 foreclosures. So foreclosures hits everywhere. It's no discrimination at all. It hits everywhere. But we want to provide some information. With that, some of you all actually had in your hand, this is what we call a mortgage late don't wait kit. So you see this, if you have this with you. Our Secretary Skinner provided you with a brief synopsis. He's our Cabinet Secretary to really talk to you and let you know there is hope, which is why we have the Maryland Hope Hotline. And you'll see that number, the 1-877-462-7555 number, that's listed as well. When you open it up, we provide you with a step-by-step process. So it's not so daring, because a lot of times, unfortunately, you may get your a letter in the mail. A lot of times when you see this is sealed, just like you receive a letter in the mail. And unfortunately, guess what? A lot of times, a homeowner doesn't want to open it up. They're nervous. They don't know what to expect when they receive it. But most importantly, we're telling you, open your mail. Open your mail. Because the best thing you can do is open your mail, and then the next step is, now what do I do next? How do I try to now meet this what we may call this challenge or this obstacle, that you can now figure out the next steps. And you're not alone, so that's the key. So as you can see here, the first one, it tells you step 1, complete a consumer information form, which is attached. This gives the housing counselor your background information. So you're not walking in there trying to figure things out. You're able to complete this information prior. And then a budget. How many of you all have a budget? And the reason I ask, it's okay, because a lot of us don't know even where to begin with the budget. But with this information, it provides you with an overview. So you may not have a budget of $20,000 a month, or $500 a month, or $20 a month. But if you're able to list your expenses, when you see it visually, does that help you sometimes? Because it's just not still here. You're able to see the numbers and realize, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to make some changes here? And then just like I showed you now the brochure, this is information on the housing counselors. So for example, in Howard County, if you look below, we have Montgomery, we have Prince George's, and Arundel. All of those are listed. So you can go anywhere to any of these housing agencies. We have phone numbers, we have websites. So this information is available. We've also provided you with a hardship letter format. So now you're thinking, well, I need to contact my lender, but what do I say? What do I do? How do I do that? And so this letter provides you with that information as well. With that, as I mentioned, with outreach, what we have found that if we get out in the community, if we touch bases with you, we can try to save as many people as possible. And that's exactly what the governor decided to do in 2007. Under his guidance and leadership, we mailed over 680,000 postcards. They were mailed what we call the heavily hot areas. So Prince George's County then was a hot area, and we mailed it to those homeowners, whether or not you were late in your mortgage, whether or not you would even was considering looking at ways. We wanted to provide that information. Governor O'Malley said, I need to get the information out there so you would have it. And with that, he did a full campaign, public service announcements. You may or may not remember this, because again, it was 3 years ago now, 2007. Movie theaters and so forth. So we wanted to touch the masses as far as we can. And we have the website, as I mentioned, www.mdhope.org. I like to say it, but it's also in writing, because I think if you hear it and you see it, it starts to help with your memory as well. Since that website started, we've had over 250,000 visits to the website. So it's working. How many of you all knew we even had a website? One person. So now when you leave out, you now know, how many people now know we have a website? Okay, excellent, excellent. Which means now you can share that information with other people as well. Last year alone, we had over 108,000 hits on the web. Excellent. That means people are going to it, they're getting the information, they're telling other people, this is what we can do as well. Now, in our outreach team, so this is our time to tell you what we did last year. And guess what? That means you all still didn't know what we did, which means we have to do even greater things for this year. We participated in over 100 outreach events. You're probably wondering, I didn't see you. Where were you? 100 outreach events with a very small staff, but we did it. But now we need to expand those efforts. And so whenever we get an opportunity, early Saturday morning, late in the evening, we're going to try to be there as well. Even with 100 outreach activities, we had over 32,000 people that attended. Quite a big number. So again, we're reaching out. We passed out over 46,000 materials. We distributed over 52,000. And ultimately, when we combine all those great numbers, we were able to reach almost 400,000 people. So yeah, those numbers are great, but now I'm glad to see the 10, 12 people here now I'm able to reach you as well. So that's the most important thing from my perspective. We have a magnet which we give out all the time. Each one of you all should have a magnet. If not, we have it on our collateral. This is what we want you to put on your refrigerator. You know, every morning you have to get something to drink, orange juice in the morning, milk in the morning, cereal, not in the refrigerator, but the milk. I want you all to put it present so you see it. Because even when you leave today, all of this material, you're trying to figure out, what was that number? This magnet will be able to help you sort of remember. Okay, that's my hotline number. That's my roadmap. Okay, what do I do now? That's my roadmap. So if you don't remember anything else, here's your roadmap. Here's your phone number, here's your website as well. With that hotline, over 31,000 people have called. Help. So what do I do next? So it's touching the people. But 35,000 people have been served, and out of that, 31% have been able to receive great results, which is an excellent. We talk a lot about those federal, and when we look at things, we want to make the major impact as much as possible. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about in terms of when you visit the website. So when you visit the website, it will actually walk you through, similar to what we just discussed. And so when you call, they'll ask you questions. The representative will ask you questions and then direct you to the appropriate housing counselor, or they may direct you to the pro bono attorney as well. We just did an outreach event 2 weeks ago, a faith-based in Howard County at Bridgeway Community Church. It was in Columbia. Well, we had an opportunity, what we mentioned earlier, we were able to bring the lenders together. So we had Bogman, who is here today. We had JP Morgan, who is here today. We had Bank of America, who is here today. We had Wells Fargo. And with that, homeowners were able to come in and meet with their lender directly. So they were able to meet with the lender, they were able to meet with housing counselors, they were able to meet with pro bono attorneys. So those are the type of events that we do. So when you walk in, you may not really realize what to do, where to go, but that event, when you walked away, you had some information. And then with that, we were able to partner with Department of Housing and Community Development and Fannie Mae as well to give you that overall. And with the phone number that I've given you, they then can provide you with that information as well. When we talk about moving into that, from just to give you just a quick summary of the census, I serve as the census outreach manager at our agency. And it is important that we get the information out, so I'm glad this gentleman is here today to talk about that. How many of you all received your census form? Excellent. So did I. How many of you all returned it? Ah, you returned yours? Excellent, excellent, excellent. We need to give you a grand prize. That's great. Because guess what? We don't want you to set it, because we return the census. That means we receive additional funding, which means we can do more help for you all. So that's what we need for you to do. You get it and you return it as quickly as possible. It means providing more funding for us. So what I want to do is just sort of wrap up, because I like to give an overview so we can take some time for some questions and see what I can do to provide even additional information. But most importantly, a couple of things. How many of you all know we have a website? www.mdhope.org. You should see it on your collateral material, right? How many of you all know we have a phone number, a hotline? Okay, excellent. That's the 1-877-462-7555 hotline. And then lastly, as I mentioned earlier, if through that process, unfortunately things do happen, as I mentioned with my cousin, we were not able, through the resources, to save our home because things happened so early on. We were still able to provide information on rental housing units. So we don't just walk away from our citizens in Maryland. We don't walk away and say, I'm sorry, we can't help you. But this card, which I've provided to you as well, is our mdhousingsearch.org. This information, when you go onto the website, will provide you with opportunities for rental units. Whether or not it's through a private lender, it could be through a real estate agent, but these are organizations that understand individuals who are going through the foreclosure process, who may have lost their job. So they're very open to help you with that particular information. So that's our rental housing unit. And with that, as I mentioned earlier, with Governor Martin O'Malley, one of the lines he states quite often, we're not here to just fix the blame, but we are here to fix the problem. And so that's what we want to do. We want to fix the problem. And fortunately today with Howard County Housing, they have provided you with a wealth of resource, a wealth of information. So starting here and being able to speak with your lenders and getting the materials that you need is so important. So each person that leaves today should have with them the Mortgage Late Don't Wait brochure. Keep this with you. You should have with you your rights so you understand what your rights are. You should have with you what we call our Mortgage Late Don't Wait kit. These are tools that you need. And please, you may have a friend or a family member, as I did, pass that information on to them as well. What we're even trying to do now is make it even broader. We have it in English and in Spanish. So there's no reason someone would say, well, I didn't know, because we want to connect with you. So if I can connect with 10, 12, 15 people today, my goal is now you take that information and you're able to connect with another person. So that's how we're able to continue to build our outreach efforts and reach the masses. So most importantly, we want to continue to promote and build home ownership. We want to keep you in your homes. We want to help you do what we can and provide the resources that we have through the state of Maryland. So I thank you for your time and open up for questions. Thank you. You're welcome.
Please, it's very important that you do take the collateral material that she has here. If you don't know, if you're not actually in peril, you may know a friend, family member, a co-worker, someone that actually needs the help and assistance the state currently has. She's basically giving you the numbers that basically states how many people have been affected by it, and I can tell you right now, it's not a pretty number. So it's like almost 1 out of 8, 1 out of 7 people have actually been affected by the recession. We're going to have Mr. Franklin come up from the Census Bureau to just tell you about the census. Congratulations on getting that information in. It's very important. It's actually so we can actually get the resources we need for every jurisdiction. And so basically tell you about that.
I thought you had to do it on April 1st.
Okay, well, he'll tell you exactly all you need to know about it. Ms. Rita, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming out to the state.
What is a pro bono attorney?
What is it?
Mm-hmm.
A pro bono, we actually have over, which I did not mention, glad you asked, we have over 988 pro bono attorneys. And what they do, they work with you hand in hand, because sometimes
What is a pro bono attorney?
it's free. It's
Oh.
a free attorney.
Oh, it's free.
Yes.
Okay.
Did I not say that?
No.
I apologize.
Do you have the list?
Actually, not
on
a
the
list.
website?
It's on the website, not a list of the attorneys, but the phone number to reach the pro bono attorney through our Maryland Hope hotline. So again, that's the umbrella. You go through the Maryland Hope hotline, you go through the website, and then they connect you with a pro bono attorney if you need that, or a housing counselor as well. Okay, and I will be available over there to answer any detailed questions. Step out of the way.
He asked that question so folks will actually know, because some folks don't know what pro bono means. And that basically means that there's attorneys available for you free of charge to give you the services that you need to mitigate whatever your situation currently is.